let's jump into Diddy, because that's what I'm interested in. Diddy was sentenced to prison, 4 years in jail, 50 months for the 2 counts of transportation engage in prostitution under the Mann Act. So not exactly... This was the case that was run by James Comey's daughter, correct? Maureen Comey,
Maureen Comey,
who is now suing the Department of Justice for her firing, and her father was just indicted last week.
Great family.
Did you guys see that Kash Patel had the FBI, one of the FBI people who was supposed to perp walk James Comey and arrest him refused to do so? So FBI, Kash Patel had him fired from the FBI.
Finally, wow.
James, so this is Sean Diddy Combs. That is the awful court rendering that they made of him. They get worse and worse. How, like in this day and age, how have we gone backwards in courtroom sketches? Do you remember the one that they had of they had a famous one? Oh, it was Tom Brady. And Tom Brady looked horrific.
He looked crazy.
Could you see if you could find the Tom Brady courtroom drawing? It looked like the most heinous human being I'd ever seen in my entire life. And they didn't do Diddy any... they didn't help his case at all. Already looks like a pervert.
Oh, the one
that one to... Nope.
Which one? To the right?
To the left? Yeah, there you go. Look at that. That's the worst courtroom sketch I've ever seen in my... He looks like a caveman.
Yeah, what the hell is he doing?
How, like, technology continues to get evolved. Have you seen, like, my entire Facebook now feed? Because Deli sent me it. It's a video of Martin Luther King from Sora, but he's cutting wrestling promos. It's the most ridiculous thing, Connor. I'm going to text you this.
Michael Jackson.
Could you play this? You saw a Michael Jackson one?
Michael Jackson's at McDonald's and he stole somebody's chicken nuggets. And he was like, hee hee.
There's Tupac ones. My whole feed is now just
Tupac with
black AI.
Elvis Presley.
I saw him. There was one of. I'm sending it to you on Slack, Connor. There was one of Tupac as a guest on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Oh my God.
And it's just, I'm like, wow, these are actually really well done. Here's the one that I just sent it to you in Slack. This is the one that Deli, one of our video editors, he sent me. That's Martin Luther King Jr. in a wrestling promo.
You guys remember?
This is how crazy technology has gotten. He's cutting a wrestling promo, and you got to hear what he says.
Oh my God, go back. Yeah.
You want to know the truth? I ain't got no dreams no more. I am the dream.
The crowd is turning on.
This is unbelievable.
That's a good one.
Technology has gotten so good that we could do that, but when we go to courtroom renderings of people, look how awful.
It's like a 4-year-old is in there going, I want the job.
But I'm glad we're hitting on this because I put all these courtroom sketches in hoping we could have this discussion.
Oh my God.
Why is the courtroom sketch artist still a thing? Like, I get you don't want media swarming it, but like one guy with a camera?
It's childish.
Or just with a cell phone. You don't even need a real photographer. Just do like I do when the neighbor comes over.
You know what's...
And my wife and him, I just sit in the corner and I film. How difficult is that to just get somebody an iPhone? We don't have to be subjected to these horrific images.
You tell me, what's more distracting? If, you know, we're sitting here at the table and we're having a conversation and I'm just like this, taking a picture, taking a video.
Or I
got an easel and colored pencils, and real quick, Rob, can you move to the left so I can get your ear in the sketch better?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
Now, to be fair, there was some fire drawings. I was looking for thumbnails yesterday. There's one of him like under the chair.
Oh, that was perfect.
I think I'm gonna get it printed.
Style. He's not there doggy style because he knows he's about to get.
Yeah, well, and he has 4 years to get it because he has been sentenced to 4 years in prison, 50 months in federal prison after the July conviction on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution under the Mann Act. Combs will receive credit for roughly a year already spent in custody. So that means he's only going to spend 2.5 years in prison.
If the appeal doesn't go through, and bro, let me explain something to you. He gets to keep all the money. He's going to go, by the way, do you think this type of deviant, disgusting human being, he's going to quit doing what he's doing? You must be out of your mind if he's not going to go right back into the craziness, right back to the debauchery. You don't think he's going to throw a party when he's out with all his money? And
his public credibility, I think, is tanked after this.
But people don't.
He's gonna be the #1 podcast guest in 2 years.
There will be, a crazy comeback for Diddy somewhere down the line.
That was the first, when I saw that he was being convicted, the first thing I did was I texted our booker, Tony, and I said, what are the odds that we can get an interview with Diddy? So yes, he will be one of the biggest in-demand podcast guests. I don't believe you'll see him on television. You might see him do one sit-down interview, kind of like, remember when O.J. Simpson did the If I Did It interview, where he wrote an entire book about if he was the one that killed
This is how I would do it.
Yeah, how he would do it, and he laid out verbatim, step by step, how it actually happened. And then he goes, "Oh well, if I were to do it, I would have done it this way, the same way that it actually happened."
And the parents stopped it from coming out.
Yeah, they actually ended up winning in part of the civil suit. They won the I believe it's the actual script of the book, so it can't ever be released. But he did one interview for that book, and then it was with Judith Regan, the publisher of the book for Fox. That interview ended up stopping the actual book from being released because then the public became aware of it. Yeah. But I believe I'll see him on one interview. You'll see him on like maybe a Piers Morgan.
60 minutes.
Nah, they're gonna bring the Ellen Show back. That's where they put all the criminals. Hey, listen, and this is a perfect example before we move on. Like, this is what they're trying to do. Like, the lower echelons of society, like the crazy guys that stab babies, and the super rich, like, guys. The super rich guys, they get away with everything.
Of
like,
course.
You know how like everyone
Pedophilia.
is innocent. And it's all allegedly. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. But the countless crimes that we know that he has done, like beating the shit out of his girlfriend. Like, you remember that video?
Cassie dragging her and beating
And
her.
you remember that video, or a large chunk of that video, wasn't even admissible. They said it would prejudice the jury. Like, hell yeah, it would prejudice the jury.
Yeah,
I'm watching a video of a guy stomp on his girlfriend's head.
You have these upper guys, the Epsteins, the Diddys, all these guys, like the Clintons, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you have this baby stabbing, crazy guys on the bottom. And then you have the middle class, normal people that go to work, fear God, they have friends, they drive their cars, they make payments. Those guys are being squished in the middle. Yep. And it's called anarcho-tyranny, all right? Mm-hmm. So the ruling class does whatever they want, the bottom does whatever it wants, and if you miss your taxes, you're going to get 10 years in prison, all right? So that's what's happening.
When you bring up his money, so according to Grok, Diddy was originally, before any of this even happened, he was worth around $800 million. However, due to legal expenses, business setbacks, and asset sales amid the high-profile trial and settlements, he is now only worth $400 million.
Whoa.
I understand
what a poor guy.
that to all of us, that's not a lot of money. Also, that is a lot of money. To him, I wonder if when you're that rich and you have hundreds of millions of dollars, if you lose half of it, do you even blink? Like when you go from 800 to 400 million, does that hurt you by any means, or you just continue to live your lifestyle? Because there's no way you can blow through $400 million.
I think it hurts when somebody, like, especially somebody like him. But bro, the fact that he's gonna come back. And not because, bro, if you think about it, he could have been in for 20 years. He could have been.
Yeah, originally the prosecution was trying to get him locked up for. It's in here somewhere between 135-month bid. That was deemed not reasonable by the judge. The defense only wanted 14 months in prison, so the judge came in between the 135 months and the 14 months and settled at 50 months.
So I mean, but by the way, 400 million loss. That's huge. He'll get over it. But my only thing is, bro, this guy's going to go right back into society. He's going to keep doing. Because let me explain something to you. Alcoholism, you stop drinking, but you're like, man, every time you see alcohol, it gets to a point where you're finally like, I'm done. You know what I mean? Like now, when I look at alcohol, it doesn't do nothing for me. If you have that debauchery, disgusting orgy, sex, I'm not saying Diddy, but pedophilia, all that stuff, and that's in you, bro, you need something. That's not going to leave you. That stays inside you, bro. And I'm telling you right now, he's going to be calling a lot of the same people that didn't snitch on him and didn't rat. And he's like, bro, we're having parties. We're going to get back, but you have to keep on the low.
It's the celebrities and the influential people that he's lost touch with.
That's
all of them have written him off. So he's not partying with, Prince William and Harry anymore.
No.
Like he's going to be cut off.
I disagree. How long did it take people to go back to OJ? Like, by the end of OJ's life, everyone was back with him.
Well,
yeah, but OJ wasn't orgying drugs.
People started going back to him because OJ was active on Twitter. And then all of a sudden, there was like this weird movement on Twitter where they're like, hey, OJ's actually kind of funny, because he'd be like, hey, Twitter world. Yeah. And then he'd do these videos. So people started liking OJ again. But I don't think you'd ever see OJ on the red carpet again. I don't ever think you'd see OJ accepting an award at the Oscars.
OJ's not he wasn't in like the new Naked Gun, for example.
Yeah.
They make a bunch of jokes about OJ.
Did you see that part?
Yeah.
it's so funny. The movie sucked. Terrible movie. That was probably one of the only good parts. Is they're all going in like the guy Liam Neeson is supposed to be who was
Leslie Nielsen's son. And
so he goes and he sees a photo of his father and he's looking. He's like, oh no,
I miss you, Dad. And then like they have all the people looking at the original Naked Gun cast as like guys who have died and they're remembering
and their
them.
sons are there remembering them, and then they shoot to a photo of OJ and a black guy, and he's like, no, and he just turns and walks away. But yeah, I don't know if OJ could have ever come back from that. Like in the zeitgeist, in the popular culture, I don't think you're going to see him on TMZ Live. By the way, we still don't even talk about how those scumbags got caught celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Let us not forget that happened, and the entire world has just glossed over it and moved right back on it. Oh my God, did you see what Lindsay Lohan did? It's on TMZ.com. Yeah. Everybody just kind of forgot that they got caught celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk on camera. So I don't think people, it's kind of like, who's another, like Harvey Weinstein. He's never going to get back into movies. The guy is done for the rest of his life.
I wish he did.
I mean, he does make a good point, bro. Perverted disgustingness aside, movies haven't been the same.
They
That
haven't
guy,
been the
he
same.
was really good at what he did.
Matter of fact, I stopped watching movies once he got jailed.
He's a terrible guy, but
Terrible guy, but look at the
Horrible
Hunting.
rapist, great filmmaker.
Oh, I mean, bro, let's be honest. Even what's his name?
Yeah, just have two police guys. It's
Roman
everywhere.
Polanski.
Roman Polanski, pervert. Great dude. I'm sorry.
While we're
R.
at it,
Kelly.
Woody Allen married
Woody
his
Allen.
stepdaughter. Well, okay, not technically his stepdaughter, was the adopted daughter of the woman he was a longtime partner with, so
Disgusting.
never actually his
Who he
stepdaughter.
raised.
But he groomed that girl, and then he ends up hanging out and it was photographed at Epstein's Manhattan townhouse, which we'll get to Jeffrey Epstein in just a minute. As for Diddy, even though he's only worth $400 million today,
Poor guy.
I don't know how he's going to financially recover from the $500,000 fine,
Oh, no.
as well as the $5,000 statutory fine and a $200 special assessment that he's going to have to
All
pay
right,
for. That
that's
would
it.
bankrupt me. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's going to really hurt Diddy.
I'm done.
This is this Caitlin Collins?
yes.
Wow, she looks different in this photo. This is Caitlin Collins from CNN. She actually asked President Trump in the Oval Office. This was yesterday, day 6 of the government shutdown. Obviously, that's not a pressing issue to talk about. We'd rather ask, are you going to pardon Diddy? The hard-hitting investigative
CNN.
journalist that is Caitlin Collins in CNN. Here she is asking Trump if he'll pardon Diddy.
Mr. President,
Say it.
the Supreme Court is back and said
Yeah.
that they rejected today an appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance of getting out of prison is a pardon from you. Is that something you're...
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
You know, I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to appeal her conviction.
And what
They
happened?
said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I see. Well, I'll take a
haven't-
look at it. I'll speak to.
haven't
I will
heard her
speak to
name
the
in so long, what, 2
DOJ. I
weeks
wouldn't
ago?
consider it or not consider. I don't know anything about it. So, but I'll speak. I will speak to the
Why would she
DOJ.
be a candidate for clemency, sir?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people who've asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
But she was convicted of child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at it. I have to ask
Wow.
DOJ.
Convicted of
I didn't
sex
know they
trafficking, you
rejected
should take a
it.
look
I
at
didn't know she was even asking for it, frankly.
So we got Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, asking Trump for pardons, and Ghislaine Maxwell asking for pardons. Like, what is going on in the Trump administration that
know.
all these people are like, hey, would you Diddy was just convicted of prostitution. Like,
I don't
regardless
like-
of what else he got off on.
Like, I don't understand. Like, bro, I don't know what it is. First of all, do you believe? I know we're kind of shifting, but do you believe Donald Trump in that moment goes, I haven't heard her name for a while? 2 weeks ago, she was all over. You guys have been talking to her for 2 weeks. You guys got her out of the freaking maximum jail, and she, like, I'm not a fan of that, bro. That's so.
No, but Vinny, Connor, come on. Like that Caitlin Clark lady that asking the questions, all right?
Caitlin Collins. Caitlin Clark is the
WNBA
Yes.
player.
Same thing.
Different
all right?
lesbian. Go ahead. Sorry.
But anyhow.
Allegedly, jokingly.
Anyhow.
Is
Joking.
that a thing? Can I call jokingly
Yeah,
instead of
jokingly,
allegedly?
allegedly.
Jokingly. Go ahead. Sorry.
Jokingly. She's just asking, like, they're weird questions, all right?
But his answer.
Yeah, well, this
doesn't bother you?
is the thing with Trump is
But
that
why were you asked that?
Trump
That's
will never
weird.
Trump never gives yes or no answers. Anything you ask Trump,
He's going on a rant.
he's like maybe I'll consider it. I'll look at all the angles.
I don't
A lot of people are saying a lot of things to me. I'll let you know. I'm considering. It's impossible to nail him down into a yes or no.
Yeah.
Even on a slam dunk of like, no, I'm not going to pardon people who were just convicted of soliciting prostitutes and sex trafficking.
I bet if you ask him, are you going to Mars? He's like, maybe, I don't know.
I'm looking into it. We got our best people on it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just not a
Martians
fan.
love me.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of him pretending that he doesn't know who. He knows exactly who she is. That's to say I haven't heard from her in so long. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally outside of Charlie Kirk. It's been the biggest story of the past 6 months. I can't think of anything that's been bigger than the initial Todd Blanche Department of Justice interview, then Ghislaine getting moved to the minimum security prison. We also have, and we'll play it in just a few minutes, Howard Lutnick on film contradicting everything that Pam Bondi has said about Jeffrey Epstein, claiming that Jeffrey Epstein is the greatest blackmailer of our day. So for the president of the United States to get in front of the cameras, and in my opinion, it seems like he's lying. So why? Why would you lie? How could you not have heard the name Ghislaine Maxwell? I guess when it comes to him, his definition of in a long time. What is in a long time?
2 weeks.
Because for him, he could say in a long time is 10 minutes. I'm the president of the United States. Imagine how many briefings I'm in and how many meetings I'm in. But for the rest of society, we've heard just Ghislaine's name over and over and over again for the past, since 2019. It's not stopped. There have been brief moments where we didn't discuss Ghislaine, but it's never been months at a time where we haven't talked about
But
her.
Rob, even him considering pardoning her is out of like.
I mean, we joke and call for a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell because if Epstein had no sex trafficking ring,
Yeah, I've
if
called
he
for it.
if he didn't solicit girls for sex for anybody
Let
else,
her
it was just
go.
for himself. What is she in jail for?
agree.
Therefore, she should be pardoned because she's innocent. But we don't want that to be the case. We want that to be met with the administration actually saying, okay, yes, here's the client list. Here's how the sex trafficking ring worked. Ghislaine Maxwell was at the middle of it. Now she's finally answering questions and naming names. We're going to bring all that to light. But they won't do that. Instead, just today, Pam Bondi was, I believe, in front of Congress, right, testifying about the DOJ operations and was saying, again, there is no Epstein client list. There is no black book of people he did business with.
She's the gatekeeper, bro, and she knows, and they know, and I think she might have been allegedly the one that had people that are out leaking stuff, leaking the list, leaking the birthday cards. She's holding all the cards, and they can't kill her.
We had a very, I received a very interesting text message from somebody very high up in the Department of Justice wanting to know if we wanted to speak with somebody who was considered Pam Bondi's right-hand man who has left the administration in recent months. And I have it on the pitch list to talk to Pat about because I think it's interesting. I just wonder if he's going to come in and be like, yeah, she's lying. Everybody knows at this point she's lying. We caught her on, James O'Keefe caught her on film talking about the tens of thousands of hours of Jeffrey Epstein having sex with underage children. And then she comes out and says there's no tapes, there's no list. Ghislaine and Epstein acted alone, not on behalf of any foreign government. The Supreme Court did reject Ghislaine's appeal yesterday. Here is, what is this, the New York Times, Washington Post?
New York Times.
Supreme Court rejects appeal from Ghislaine. The one-time employee and friend of Epstein argued that a secret agreement between prosecutors and the multi-millionaire financer invalidated her conviction. And then Trump was asked about it. The court has denied Maxwell's 20-year sentence, they have denied absolving her of that sentence. They're keeping it intact unless she secures executive clemency, which would be the pardon from the president. Her appeal centered on a 2007 Florida non-prosecution agreement with Epstein that referenced potential co-conspirators. According to that, and according to Kash Patel, there are no co-conspirators. And according to Dan Bongino, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. Stop asking questions.
Yeah, and by the way, and Dick Durbin today was asking her, and you know what she said? He said what she said, and she goes, well, I said the files were on my desk. JFK, Martin Luther King, and that. I didn't know what was in them. I said I was going to review them. I didn't say that they're so, Rob, full of complete crap. It's almost like we're watching like a movie, and I'm like screaming. It's like, how much more? By the way, and if you're somebody that's really implicated, if you're Bill Gates and you're Bill Clinton, how happy are you? You're like, bro, the president and Attorney General got our backs, bro. We're good. We're good. From the top, the highest, most powerful pedophile to the other person that was just there, kind of like hanging around, like, you said, recording in the back. They're so good, bro. They're sitting kicked back like, bro, we're so protected. It's not even funny, bro.
Vinny, all right.
They are. They really are.
No. Yeah, they are. But are we past the point of grace? We had Eric Trump last week.
Yeah.
And he spoke very highly. Like Eric
Of who?
Cash and Dan.
Cash.
Yeah, because that's their friend.
They're good friends and everything. If I was like, man, if it was my last administration and I was solving for maximal impact, maximal drama, I would leave this at the cert. Like I will leave this
to the end. So you're gonna leave and say, hey guys, boom.
Like before I leave to leave a legacy, I'd be like, hey guys, by the way, we were investigating this guy. They're all going to jail. Thank you very much.
Love that.
But the thing is, Vinny, is that you need to secure another administration afterwards. Because let's say everyone goes down, all right? That means that the next administration can give them pardons to all of them, and they will do no jail time whatsoever. They will do 3 years maximum. How about if you secure the next administration and then everyone goes down, so they get at least 8 years of punishment?
I'm not mad. I mean, that's a good angle. I just want, bro, one person to go to jail. Like even Comey, I saw this thing.
One guy.
I saw. Yeah, but you know what? He's not gonna do any time.
Would we be? Why don't you think he's going to do any time?
Bro, with the system and the actual charges and the stuff that they're putting against him, and I saw like this lawyer was no joke. Comey is not going to spend any time in jail. You'll see. Mark my words.
So we do have to wrap up the segment. I do want to play the Howard Lutnick clip real quick, but there's one thing I want to ask you guys. Okay, so say that Cash Patel and Dan Bongino were not put in the positions they were in, and we just got Joe Blow from Kokomo and Susan Sarandon. Who gives a shit? Just names. No name people that haven't run on these promises. Would there still be this level of distrust in the administration? What I mean by that is I feel like I distrust Trump more because these two people who I have entrusted are clearly lying when I reference Cash Patel and Dan Bongino regarding Jeffrey Epstein's ties to intelligence, his co-conspirators, his list, et cetera, his death. Would you guys believe it more if this came from someone who we didn't back and we didn't support? They just picked two random people, put those people in the positions. Would we still have this level of outrage, or would we accept it and go, you know what? These guys never ran on the Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself ticket. They're independent, they're non-biased, and I accept the results. Or do you guys think that there is this blowback specifically because it's Cash Patel and Dan Bongino?
Rob,
That's a great
if it was
question.
just Joe Blow and Sarah Connor, guess what? I wouldn't be that outraged because they didn't promise, bro. Like, meaning you have no idea the build up to this thing. Like this, like I try to, like the analogy is like getting ready for a girl, Viagra, everything. You're ready to go, and then she shows up and she's like, oh no, I'm on my period. We're not. It's that time of the month, and you're like, wait a minute, no. So the problem is that they promised it, they ran on it, they built. Bro, go back and look at Dan Bongino podcast. Go back and look at Cash Patel, just out there, diarrhea, verbal, all this, and then you get there. So now we're like, to hell with both of you. So if it was just Joe Schmo, I still wouldn't believe them, but I wouldn't have this much of anger, Rob, because of the buildup.
I think it's the opposite. Like, I actually afford them a lot of grace because Dan Bongino, he's been a good guy the whole time. I've been
He's
listening
still a
to
good
him.
guy, but
like, I guess if it was Joe Schmo from I will be a lot more poisonous, and I'm still giving them grace.
But he's saying Joe Schmo though was on all these podcasts. What he's saying is this guy they're like, all right, we're appointing this guy's the director.
He's been in the Department of Justice for dozens of years.
but
He's worked his way up from the ranks.
You'd be more likely to assume that guy was lying to you because he's been around forever.
But he wasn't promoting this. Trust me, on day one, XYZ, I'm going to do this. I've been on phone calls with these people because that's what Dan Bongino and them were saying. I've talked to everybody on the inside. Cash Patel, on day one, blah, 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 blah. Where are you at, bro?
No, those guys built careers around selling us the story of the Epstein list, only to then come out and try to say it doesn't exist. That's not even my primary concern. If it began and ended with Bongino and Patel and Bondi, that would be one story about corrupt or incompetent DOJ people who are lying, mishandling evidence, whatever. The fact that after all of that, Donald Trump came out and said, there is no story here. If you continue talking about the Epstein list, you're a bad person and I don't want your support. that shows this goes so much higher than just the Department of Justice. That is an administration-wide position on shut down the conversation. Stop talking about it.
So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.